Welcome back to Natelby Reefing, and this is an update on the 150 litre canister filter reef. There are a few things that I have learned running this tank with freshwater equipment, and that is that it's a lot more difficult than I thought, purely because with no skimmer and no refugium and no overflow, you start to get a lot of algae in the display. Now, I'm lucky because the algae seems to be really only growing on that magnetic rock at the back. It isn't anywhere else, and that's because the bristle-tooth tang, which is hiding now because I'm too close to the tank, is making a really good attempt at basically just destroying it. So it's really hard to find any algae anywhere on the rockwork. There's the bristle-tooth hiding under there. He doesn't like being on camera. There he is. There's really no algae anywhere else. So what my plan is to remove the magnetic rock, scrape that algae off or scrub it off with a toothbrush until it's short enough that he'll eat it, because that's just too long. So he doesn't even make an effort on that. And then hopefully he'll manage to keep that as well. Now, the issue with not having an overflow is that I feed lots of food in this tank every day. So it all ends up sitting on the bottom. Now, that is also got to do with the tang making a lot more poo than I thought he would, or she. So there is tons and tons and tons of it in this tank, and luckily enough it all collects back there, so it's easy to siphon out once or twice a week. But I'm pretty sure if I had an MP10 kicking this up with an overflow, I wouldn't really have this much settling on the bottom. What else? There's tons of coralline algae growth at the moment, as you can see. The floor is covered, or the floor is covered. Here's a stomatella snail making a run for it. I don't know where he was, but he's even got some coralline growing on his shell. But yeah, there's lots and lots of coralline growing everywhere on the floor, so I'm really happy about that. This is the rooster's comb coral that I moved from the magnet down to there. The Sinularia has been a lot happier. I pulled it out not long ago and basically cut off a big chunk of it because it had bubble algae on. I don't know what that is. Let's see. No, not sure. Not sure what that thing is. If anyone knows, they can tell me. Yeah, and then we've got the long polyp leather, which is doing really well, really happy. The Kenya tree is preferring its position now. The GSP has moved off its frag plug and is now starting to grow onto the rock. And the Cespitularia at the back is just massive, really. Also, we've got the new chalice coral, which is there. Likes this place, I think. Hasn't discolored, hasn't changed. I haven't seen tentacles or stingers or anything out in it, so I think it'll be fine there. The little horn coral is there. And then there's definitely nice growth tips on this Montipora frag, which is going to be a scrolling Monty cap. There's another section growing. If we look under there, the shell of the clam has another little lip, I guess you could call it, growing. This clam is pretty happy and doing really well. And the encrusting corals that we stuck to the floor, obviously they're not encrusting yet, but they are all as fuzzy as they need to be. They've colored up exactly like they were in the store, which I'm really happy about. There's one there. There's the other one here. I might be thinking that this one has started encrusting a bit over the plug, over the glue, because there was a bit of epoxy that it wasn't touching the glass like that, if that makes sense. So pretty sure that one started encrusting, but it's a nice looking piece, so I'm glad that one's growing. Here's our other one. Nice fuzzy red polyps on it. Not really sure what it's going to end up looking like when it plates out, when it starts properly encrusting, but we'll find out. Island Red Devil is happy, and the Goni Garden at the top is doing what it normally does. So the thing that I've learned, I'd say, is that it's a lot harder to keep the tank clean. But if the algae is the right length and you have the right size tank like that, right, then you can keep it under control, but you can only expect a little tank to do so much, and he's not interested at all in that long algae. So I'll scrub it down and see what he has to say for himself after that, see if he's happy with it. Surface skimmer is still working nicely. You can see no oil on the top, and the auto feeder is feeding once a day some algae pellets for the tang. So that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you updated to see how the tang does at keeping that algae under control.